Hey guys, today we're going to be setting roof trusses. We're going to go over just some important things to pay attention to when setting roof trusses, where to flush them, how to attach them, how to brace them overnight, and how to fly them. So let's get to it. If you're not using TrussLoxs, you can skip past this first part of the video. But if you are, we put them on like this. We already laid out our trusses up so that our greenies are facing up. We call them greenies for short. So we're gonna go ahead and slide these back so we can put on a bunch of greenies at once. So the reason we spread these trusses out is so that we can get greenies on every truss, and we can reach in and pick it up without managing it each time. That way the guy putting these greenies on can get way ahead of the clock. For a truss this long, we're probably gonna have 3 greenies. We'll see how that works. We might transition to 4. We'll have 1 at the top here. And what I do is I make a mark on the truss where I want to put the greenie. Because when these greenies go in, you don't want them to hit each other. So you want them to be offset about 6 inches. That provides strength, and yet you don't have to fight it setting the truss in. So I'm going to make alternating marks on the trusses, and that will tell me where to set my greenies. Here's about center. This first truss, we're gonna treat like a gable truss. So it's not gonna have a greenie on it. It's gonna have 2x6s holding it up. Now we just put our greenies on from here on out, just like this. Now, when we put these greenies on, we use a cabinet screw. It has a super wide head. It locks our greenies on really well. And if we use deck screws here or nails, it will actually wear out this plastic. So we just use cabinet screws. They're super strong. They help with wind, and they don't hurt the greenies at all. So we're ready to fly trusses here. And on these trusses, since they're so long, we're using 2 pick points. So we're actually attaching the rope to them in 2 places, which means our job is slower, but at least the truss won't bend and potentially snap. So we're gonna fly these up, and then these greenies are gonna lock into the next truss. We also have a tag line here that we loop on the truss. Now, when you're putting this on, you don't wanna put it on the bottom of the truss. You always wanna put it up here, or here is fine, because when we set this truss, it's gonna be sitting on a wall. So this will get in the way if you loop it on the bottom. We just use this to help line the truss up when we're flying it into place so that the wind doesn't blow it around. So we got our truss up here. It's locked in with our greenies. We tapped it over to the line. Now we're gonna nail off this heel. But while we're setting trusses, we have to pay attention to flushing the heel of the truss on the longest run. So when I say flushing the heel, I mean the end of this truss has to be perfectly in line with the outside of the wall. It's super easy on this one because we have our sheeting sticking up for our heel here. But if that sheeting isn't there, you want to always pick one side. When you're setting trusses, pick one side of the run and flush up that heel first. Then nail the other side. If your heel isn't flush on the other side, it's a red flag that you need to check that wall for plumb. Because if you pulled your dimensions of the house properly, all of these heels should line up on the walls. So if your heel's overhanging or inset, you need to check that wall for plumb to make sure it didn't get bumped out of the way. Then, once we're flush on our heel and we're on our X, right on the line, we nail down through this. Now, we only put in 2 nails on each side because any more than that, it's gonna split out these heels and make it weaker for when we put our hurricane screw up through the bottom. This is just a temporary hold until we get that hurricane screw to qualify for our uplift. So yeah, now we'll keep setting trusses. So after you get your trusses all set, overnight you always want to put a wind brace on, which is a board going up the trusses at an angle. You don't have to mark these out for spacing. They're just to keep your trusses from blowing over. The reason you need to go up at an angle is because this truss down here is only about 2 feet tall, and up there it's about 6 to 8 feet tall. So it would be impossible for the trusses to tip over without breaking these fasteners, because down here they only have to tip 2 feet, but up here they have to tip 8. So if the wind tries to blow them over, physics just says no. You can see here, the gable on the end is locked in solid. And these trusses in the middle move a little bit, but our gables on each end are fixed. We got diagonal on the face, we got diagonal on the top. It's not going anywhere. So it pinches all these trusses in. Because what you don't want is the big wobble. You don't want your roof wobbling. The wobble is what slowly eases the nails out and takes houses down, especially roof trusses. So make sure before you leave at night that these trusses are locked in with proper wind bracing. So there you have it. We got all our trusses set. We're gonna set the garage on Monday. Just a few things to recap. Always pick the longest run to flush your heels to, and check out that your heels are flushing on the other side. If you built your walls properly and you chalked your lines properly, if a heel isn't flush, it's a red flag that a wall is leaning. So you need to take time, stop setting trusses and fix it so your house comes out properly. Another tip is when you're flying trusses with a truss hook, not cables, is to put the truss hook on the forward side of the truss, so that when this truss comes in and sets, the teleoperator or the crane driver can take their hook out away from the rest of the trusses, so they don't risk hooking them and pulling them off the roof. Hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of this video. Check out our channel, because we made videos about prepping for crane day, like how to scatter the trusses out around the house in the right order and the right location. We made a video about setting gable trusses. We made a video about setting gables already pre-assembled with outlookers and subfascia sheeting Tyvek already done. So check out our channel. Please subscribe if you got any value, and thanks for watching.